I have never had an unbiased shaft fitting before, and by God, this was an eye-opener. Some of these shafts I tested were mad.
Felt weird.
Yeah, that was much
Hey,
better.
look at that ball speed jump up. 121.
Yeah.
What the heck?
We tested all the Mizuno heads in 2025, from the 245 to the 241, and we landed on the 243 model. Did I make the right decision on the model, by the way? It's now time to jump straight into this unbiased shaft fitting and see what I end up with this year. This facility is crazy. Oh, and wait till the end to see which shaft I go for. I actually surprised myself.
Okay, Cam, so we've hit loads of different heads. We've decided on these. What are these ones?
So we've got the Mizuno 243s here.
I've never had a set of Mizunos before, so I'm very, very excited about this. And even more excited the fact that we're actually trying a graphite shaft as well. So what have we got here?
So we've got the Axium, made by Fujikura 105 stiff, which is a Velcore technology. Some of you guys might have heard of this. It's what like Rory Scheffler uses on tour. It's just very, very stable, good for ball striking and consistency.
Because a lot of people would probably assume that graphite shafts are for, like my dad's got a graphite shaft or graphite steel in his irons. Like, I'm not saying I'm a fast swing speeder. This guy is the fast swing speed around here. It would be unstable for somebody that had a faster swing speed, but it's becoming more and more popular, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like Sir Bryson, he obviously uses graphite shafts as well. He's obviously one of the fastest players on tour, but he obviously does it for a reason. Graphite, you can make it as stable as possible without adding loads and loads of weight. Whereas if you think of steel, to get to that point, it has to be heavy, and all of a sudden it becomes too heavy to swing.
Okay, right, so let's get trying this head right here.
Let's get you loaded on here.
And guys, look at all these here. So these are obviously the drivers. There will be a driver fitting up on the channel too. This is my iron fitting, but there's some cool numbers. These are actually hybrids, these are more irons, and there's more over here. This is a cool setup, and we're gonna get all the data so you can see it and compare. Right, so we're all sorted here.
Awesome, right.
This feels weird that I've got a graphite.
Does it?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I think just because
probably just because you're not used to it, you see.
I just not something I'd even ever
think about using.
Yeah.
Just try and be open-minded with it.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit 5 away with this, right?
Hit 5 away, mate. Yeah, that's it. Should be good there.
Like, what should I see by using graphite? More stability, more speed?
Yeah, so I think you'll definitely start to see dispersion kind of creep together.
Okay.
In theory, your speed should kind of creep up a touch as well. Obviously, first swing, but compared to where you probably usually would be in steel, it'll just feel really smooth. You'll get a lot of feedback off the face.
It did feel quite smooth, that, which is weird. I'm trying to forget that it is actually graphite.
Yeah, try not to look at it.
It kind of looks quite cool, green into this black, into the head.
That's it, mate.
These heads feel
Certainly
great.
different.
Here we go, ball 2. That was awesome, that. How good did that feel?
Nice, so strike was good there. So yeah, good numbers there, to be fair.
So that was a 162 carry, 88.5 ball speed, 119 ball speed. Is that ball speed pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, probably
Smash could be a little better.
Yeah, I think the only thing just kind of looking at that is, obviously you've gone to more of a graphite option, spin started to creep up a touch.
Okay.
So we'll keep an eye on that as obviously we go through.
You can explain that in a second.
Okay.
So what's the idea behind this shaft?
Very similar to how the drivers work. Obviously it's all about finding
By the
fairways.
way, how straight
now.
is that?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't get much straighter than that. It's all about kind of finding fairways, isn't it? So it's the same concept with irons.
Yeah.
You know, if you hit 10 shots and you're averaging 20 feet, it's just trying to creep you even closer.
Okay.
It's just all about dispersion. Zero curve, by the way. Check that one. Bottom right. Bottom right. As far right as it goes, yeah.
What the?
Nice.
Okay, so we need 2 more. That felt ripped. Have a look. They're the 4 shots that we've just hit. Look at that group in there. I'm pretty happy with that, to be fair. What is the size of that, would you say? 10, 15
So
yards?
so you can see 180 compared to 160. It's probably around that 5 yards. It was probably the first one that threw the data completely. Whether you struck that one as good, we'll double check at the end.
Throw
anyway.
a blanket over it.
That's it.
Okay, so I need 1 more.
One more for me, please.
I'm actually surprised at how this felt, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quite enjoying this. That was ripped.
The strike.
Slight pull, maybe?
Yeah, maybe just crept up a little bit. Yeah, distance jumped up a tiny bit more. Yeah, so obviously a fraction close on the face there, so it was a little bit long with a little bit left. But
so let's just have a little look at these numbers. So these are the 5 shots that we just hit.
Yep.
We had a 92 clubhead speed, 89, 89, 88, 88. We already warmed up because we tried the iron heads. And distance-wise, 162.
So carry distance, I think the first one really, whether it was a slight miss hitting strike, a touch low on the face. So if we kind of just ignore that one, you kind of average around 165 there.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly where I would sort of see it. So I don't really want more distance from this. I just want to see it tight on the dispersion.
That's it, yeah. So as you can obviously see up there, minus the first one, you can see it's not really too bad in terms of dispersion wise. If it wasn't for the one that was pulled a touch, it's just carried an extra few yards. You're pretty much on the money there with the carry distance, so pretty good there.
So what's our thought process now? We've tried one graphite shaft.
Yeah.
We do have these ones right here to go into. So what's our thought process right now?
Perfect. So what we'll do now is we'll jump into the next one. What I'm going to do is just going to add a tiny bit more weight just to see if we can kind of bring that dispersion in even more now.
And what does weight do? Why would that help me bring dispersion in?
If you think about if it's too light for you, it's very easy to kind of lose your position at the top of the swing.
Okay.
If something's too light, you start to maybe force it, or the speed starts to fluctuate. So if we just add a little bit more weight to it, it'll maybe just kind of keep you nice and conservative with that.
Right, okay, let's go into it. So 5 shots away so far. That actually felt really quite nice. If I'm being honest, like I sort of forgot that it was graphite and we're just hitting away, trying to just hit the best shot I could. I'm happy with the numbers. I quite like the look of how it looks down behind the ball, and I'm really enjoying that head. As I said at the start of this video, I've never had a set of Mizunos. I think in the past, and let me know what sort of brands you've had. I've had Cobra, I've had, I'm trying to think when I was younger, what did I have as well? I had ProGen, comb bag.
Yeah, nice.
Then I've had a set of Wilson irons, and then now, this is honestly like my first iron fitting in around about 3 years. So no
3
pressure,
years.
mate, yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Like,
no
I just
pressure.
used what felt good.
Yeah.
Whereas
definitely.
now, obviously, those things look beauty. What we got here then? Talk me
So,
through this. This
next
looks
thing-
similar to what my dad has.
Yeah, so this is basically steel fibre. This is a technology designed by Aerotech. So this is basically a graphite layer across, so it's steel underneath,
Yeah.
but it's just a graphite finish. So you still get kind of the feel of a steel shaft, but it's a little bit smoother, a little bit softer for the graphite for you.
I'm really excited. Let's have a look at this. So here we go. I mean, that head is just a work of art. Cam, what irons do you have?
I've got P790s.
Like them?
They just go a little bit far.
Well, that's not something you need, mate. So that's what this looks like down behind the ball. I quite like, I mean, this is just totally aesthetics, but
Yeah.
on what colour grips then we should go for as well, because that's one of the decisions we'll make in this video, and we
Yeah.
will do a build video too. So that looks quite cool down behind the ball. That's what we're sort of dealing with there. Are we going to go 5 away
Let's-
again and then just see how they go?
Then we can compare the two together. Yeah, let's get 5.
Right, don't tell me what I should be feeling here. I want to just hit it. It does feel, the first thing I'd say is, I know you mentioned it's going heavier. It does feel a lot heavier in my hands. That did feel harder to work.
Yeah, okay. So maybe just took you a touch longer to square up the face because of how heavy it might be.
And is that one of the things that I would potentially see?
Definitely,
so
yeah.
because it's heavier, and this is for somebody if they're going for a fitting, as you're changing things, if it goes lighter for a faster speed player, it might then point a little further left.
Correct, yeah, you might end up kind of quickening up without, subconsciously. And vice versa, if it's a touch heavier, it might just take you a touch longer. So you might be used to it then.
So I need to hit, that's why we hit 5, right? So
That's
we can
it,
sort of
Give yourself
get an
2.
overall. That felt
That
good.
was better, yeah. That was
I
nice.
sort of listened to what you said there.
Yeah, that was much
Hey,
better.
look at that ball speed jump up.
Really good. Yeah,
121.
nice, yeah, strike was good there. Didn't quite flush it, but
It was a little heely. I do find the
not
heel
too
too
bad.
fair, mate.
Is that your
Yeah,
sweet spot? Is it?
and has this spin come down compared to what we did have?
Yeah, so previously with the Axium, it was kind of spinning up probably a little bit too much than we need. So obviously with that, you've crept up a little bit more ball speed, and hopefully the carry distance will start to be a touch more consistent as well.
Interesting. Right. The best way I can describe this shaft right now is it feels a lot harder to work, but sort of undecided if that's a good or a bad thing right now. Like, I think I feel that more because I just tried a
From where
lighter
we
one,
started,
and it's
yeah.
just like, for example, if I drove a go-kart round and someone
Yeah.
put me in a Formula 1 car, 1, I'd crash, but 2, like if someone's driving it,
It's
you
all
feel like
because of what we started with, isn't it? Yeah. Just don't
Right.
worry about it.
that's a better way of saying it, Cam. I was mumbling there. Okay, here we go. That was ripped. Oh, maybe too
strike.
ripped. Yeah, I did definitely pull that.
Like I said, the swing itself was the same, just the touch closed.
I feel like I've just got to try and put a bit of a smoother swing, and I'm trying to find distance here. Come
Okay.
on. That was
Sounded good, yeah, really good.
I was overcompensating then. So 90 club head speed, 122 ball speed,
That's it.
171 carry.
Yeah, effortless power really. Like I say, strike was a touch closer to the middle there, so that's where you got the
Is that a
extra
good
ball
thing
speed.
for me to feel like I've got to work the shaft? Or is
Yeah, I think it's finding that fine line between obviously what we started with. That's obviously a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
So whether 2 or 3 shots in, you're starting to just hit it a touch harder than you need to.
it definitely was in them.
I think you know put a nice easy swing on these next two. Let us know how that feels.
Okay. That was ripped.
Cruising around at 170 mark, which is good.
I'm not trying to play a shot here. I'm just trying to literally put a swing on.
So that's perfect there. So that's really kind of all we.
So how many did we hit there?
So we hit 5.
We hit 5.
Yeah.
Do you want me to hit one more?
Go for one more because there was one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one there, that
was
one.
The start.
Everybody can see this one up here. That one top left. That was me getting a bit over.
A little bit excited.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I guess that can happen during a fitting, right?
Definitely, yeah.
You're not
always going to hit perfect shots and fittings, so.
And would you take that into account?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That was ripped.
Yeah, lovely shot.
This is starting to feel really good, this one, Cam.
Awesome.
Cam, talk us through it. Here's the big screen of data.
Perfect.
Let's have a look at these. I actually really like this setup. This is something that this is new here. I like you've got the 3 screens, you've got the iPad. The bay actually feels a lot bigger. Like if I stand back here, you can do 2, your left-handed and right-handed in the middle, right?
So you can put it in the middle, so you got left and right, both sides there.
Right.
So let's have a look. So
and obviously a drinks fridge, which is really cool.
This is kind of a good one to look at really, because obviously in fittings you're not always going to hit perfect shots. So what we can do is obviously we can just kind of minus that one for now.
Yeah.
And just kind of look at them 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So obviously if you look at that now compared to.
And they're the 4 or 5 once I started to get on board with the shaft and not overhit it, right?
Correct, yeah. And what we can do there is we can kind of compare against the first one.
So the white circle is the first one.
Correct. The white circle is the Axium, which we tried at the start. And then obviously the orange circle is what we've just hit with the steel fibre.
And what we're talking numbers, so steel fibre is 169 carry average.
Just minimize that for you. There you go.
That's a lot easier to see.
Yeah. So yeah, average 119 ball speed with the Axium, which is over this side. You can see it's gained an extra 2 miles an hour. You've not particularly swung it any faster, so the quality of strike is just better. Land angle is very similar, so it's coming in nice.
And what should we be looking for a 7-iron?
So I think anything around 50 is good because you still want to maintain stopping power.
Yeah.
I think with this one, the spin is potentially borderline a little bit too high.
So we're thinking this Axium is maybe not the way to go?
Not quite just yet. I think after looking at the first two, I'm definitely warming towards the steel fibre for sure.
Okay.
So a little bit of a lower launch, spinning better, and then obviously you can see you carry there. You've jumped up an extra 5 yards, but you've maintained control, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, we don't want to lose control because that's the thing.
No point having distance if we can't control it.
Yeah, well, yeah, sometimes that's the case. Okay, so we've tried 2.
Yep.
We're going to try at least 2 more, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And when you're going for a fitting with somebody, how many times or how many shafts would you try? Is it like 2, 3, 5, 10?
So you can kind of go up to 4 or 5. Potentially even 6. It solely depends on what the customer is after, really. If they're very much shaft related, yeah. So that does obviously happen, but it's very much based around what the customer wants. Sometimes they just want to try different heads, whereas obviously today we're trying to unbias shaft and things like that. Yeah. So I think it's important just to get, try as many as we can. We've obviously got loads of options here as well, which is good. Geez,
there is loads of options. So. I'm looking forward to my driver fitting later, which will be a separate video. There's some really funky things that honestly I've never seen before. And to be honest, I never heard of some of these iron shafts. Okay, Cam, set us up with the next one here. Okay. So what are we thinking now? What route are we going?
So obviously we went from kind of a mid spin with the first one, added a little bit of weight for the next one. So we're going to go the other end of the spectrum now, and we're going to go quite light from what you just tried.
And what's the reasoning behind that?
So I just want to see, most of this is kind of trial and error really. I just really want to see what happens with your
Is it more to like rule it out as well?
Yeah, exactly. And at least this way, once you've tried it, you kind of know then if it's right, if it's wrong. It's always best to try and push the body, exaggerate it, because if you just 5 grams either side, sometimes you're not going to be able to feel it too much. So let's throw you straight in the deep end here with a 70 gram.
So what is this called?
So we've got a Vista Pro here.
So a close up of that.
Yeah, you can see the weight there, which is 70, versus obviously what we've been trying, which is kind of 110, 105. So
this looks quite cool. This looks like literally like a driver shaft.
You're certainly going to feel the difference with this when you start to swing.
Okay, let's have a look at it down behind the ball. So this is what this would look like down behind the ball. And let us know your thoughts. And let us know, have you ever thought about having graphite in your irons? I'll be honest, up until doing this totally unbiased shaft fitting where literally Cam is taking the lead, I'm saying nothing, he is the expert. Like, I've never thought about going down this route, but here are all the shots that we've hit, and I'm excited to get something like this in the bag. Right, okay, this is our 3rd shaft. Okay, just in my hands right now, this feels like really light. Because like you said, this is completely the opposite, isn't it, end of the spectrum?
Yeah, definitely.
That felt weird. I did feel like I had to swing that slower.
Okay.
But
so just to try and get the timing.
Yeah, but I don't know if that. I think it's a bit like when we tried the heavier one to start with. I think it's just because.
Just the neck swing, isn't it?
That was a 170 carry. That. Oh, that was a bit of a weird strike. Oh my god.
We don't like them ones.
That couldn't get any.
We don't like them ones.
That was borderline a shank. That literally
Can't
felt.
say that word, innit? It's just a swear word.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? A little bit healy, but pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to enjoy this one a little more now. Now I've hit a few shots, it feels...
kind of getting the feel of it.
I've sort of lost the feel of what that other one was.
Yeah, that's why it's important just to kind of hit more than just one shot with it and kind of write it off.
A little healy again.
Yeah. This is kind of a real good one to kind of look at, really, because
Yeah.
you've started to see how the strikes just started to waver slightly, the dispersion and flight, spin started to kind of mix itself up a touch.
The one bit of feedback I'll give you, I don't know where the head is.
Right, yeah, that's it.
I obviously that sounds like a weird thing. I do know where the head is, but in comparison to the first two, it feels a little bit
You've
like...
lost that control there, I think, because it's too soft for you.
Yeah.
You're too fast for that kind of weight.
And that's a really interesting point. Like, when you're trying this, I think you've got to be open-minded to the fact that things, when you're trying it, they're not going to put you in something that's perfect every time. Like Cam said, you're trying to rule out a option.
So just trying that, you've kind of took out a third of some of the shafts that we have here, and now we're starting to really close in on what we need. It is, yeah.
Okay, so hit one more. Is it one more?
One more for me, please.
I mean, that's a great shot.
Yeah, good one to finish.
But I just, when you get a feeling, I'm not on board with that one as much.
That's it, mate. And that's, ideally, that's really what I wanted to see anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll have a quick look at the numbers here for you.
Here we go. Here's the 3 shafts we've tried. Talk me through the colours. So we've got blue, white, and orange.
Yeah. So obviously
Orange,
you can see bottom left there which one's which.
Aha. So Axium is the first one.
Yeah.
Which is white. Steel Fibre is the second one, and Vista Pro is the third, which is the blue.
That's it. So obviously, like I said, you felt okay with the first one.
You look like a school teacher here, by the way.
God, yeah. Okay, yeah, so obviously you can see with the first one, obviously felt nice. First 5 swings of the day was pretty good in terms of dispersion and carry. Second one, obviously we knew that you kind of liked that straight away, really. But obviously as soon as we kind of tested out that one, a little bit lighter for you, we kind of knew it wasn't going to suit you too much. You can see what's happened to your shots. Obviously it's only 5 shots, but you can already see the size of that straight away.
I had that big juicy pull.
Yeah.
Then I hit that heely one.
Horrible one.
Yeah, don't mention that word. You told me not to mention it. The fact it's on an angle, the distance from front to back is massive. So that's like missing it short right to missing it long left into the crap.
Left, that's it, isn't
Whereas like look at the dispersion left to right on this one and front to back. So it's like both.
Yeah, exactly.
And from a fitness point of view, that's what you're trying to do, isn't it? You're trying to not get one that flies too far and then go so short, but also get it accurate.
Correct. Yeah, that's probably the worst thing that can happen, especially with irons, because distance isn't really the goal. Obviously, you want to be hitting greens and know your carry numbers, things like that. Obviously, with that last one there, we're kind of struggling finding where our carry distance is, but I would say that's why it's easy enough to figure out which one's the best way.
Right, we trying one more?
We've got one more for you.
And talk me through the final shaft. Now, you actually think this one could be one of the ones, right?
I do, yeah. I think that it's going to be between this one and obviously the original steel fibre.
And what is this one?
This one is called Oban Reserve. So this is obviously a shaft made by Oban, graphite. If you look at the decals on here, really cool design. And again, very similar to the other ones which we've tried. Super
It looks
stable.
like steel, this.
Yeah, so I think that's obviously part of the reason they've designed it like this, not to put too much going on. Because I think a lot of people get put off by graphite because of how it looks, and obviously a lot of people will have an opinion on it, but this kind of looks more steel, and then obviously we both know that it's obviously a graphite, and again, super stable, very similar to what we've tried at the start.
Have a little closer look.
Yeah.
So here we go. Reserve. Sounds like a fine wine. These look really cool. So again, where's this made?
So Oban is a Japanese company. You'll see, obviously, when we do the driver fit
I had
as
an
well.
Oban green revenge, like.
Yeah,
I remember
they're really good for like colours as well, like proper funky
someone just
colours.
gave me it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and they have obviously like a specific design with obviously the crisscrossing of the graphite as well.
Okay, so final shaft.
Yeah.
This one feels, just based on like flicking it around my hands.
Yep.
The first one felt similar to this in terms of weight.
Okay.
Then the second one felt a lot heavier. Mm-hmm. The third one felt a lot lighter. This feels like a mixture of
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I right in saying that?
That's it. You're right.
It's almost like you told me. You didn't. Okay, here we go. Here's the first shot with it. Oh, a bit of a pull. In my hands felt quite nice.
Okay.
Because I've actually hit that bit of a pull with every one of them, haven't I?
Yeah, that obviously might just be a little bit of a swing thing where you just pull it.
It definitely is.
It's not a bad, it's not a particularly bad shot. It's just a little bit longer than usual. That's all. Sounded good.
That was pure.
Yeah.
That felt really solid, like
Yeah.
through my hands, really
Beautiful
solid.
strike, yeah.
So we're obviously looking for also where we're striking it on the face, aren't we?
Definitely.
One
yeah.
thing I'd say in the lighter one, it was like heel everywhere. It felt everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously just adding a little bit of weight will just help with obviously your swing on the way down.
Yeah. So what
Certainly
happens
gonna
to the
help.
shaft? Because the shaft bends like
Yeah,
that way, right?
That's it, yeah. So it
That
kind
way.
of like bows itself. Something that's obviously too light, can't keep up with the head. It's just going to move around like that.
Bit like a fishing rod.
That's it, yeah.
That was pure.
Yeah, that was good. Nice.
They've all been a similar shape then.
Really good, yeah.
173 carry, 179 total, 124 ball speed. What spin should we be looking for? Because that was a 6.2.
Yeah, so I think roughly anything around kind of 90, 95 miles an hour. Whatever the number of the iron is, generally times it by 1,000, so obviously you get like 7,000.
Yeah.
But I think 6.5 is kind of your number anyway, because obviously you're quite shallow.
Yeah.
Which you can obviously see there.
I wasn't. I've had a lesson. I was literally, Cam, I was literally like this.
Was you?
I had a lesson because I get like this.
Right, okay. Get
Now I
the
know
elbow
when
going.
you're trying to hit it longer, like this is probably a good thing.
That's
to
a
add
good
some
feeling,
length.
yeah.
But for me, like if I'm looking to have control, like I get across the line and I'm like this.
Right, okay.
Or then I'm like this. Anyway, I
wanna
digress.
keep it
But and that
Cool.
51 land angle as well. So
That's
what
really
we
good.
were saying.
Yeah, that's it.
That felt great.
Yeah, nice strike again.
Oh, I didn't think it would fade. Maybe I just healed it slightly.
Yeah, ever so slightly heel side there on the strike. But it's not kind of knocked off your distance too much there. I don't know
No.
if you noticed with the other ones without the heel, it was kind of more 155,
Yeah,
160.
it was really quite short.
So
one
it's
of them.
let's say it saved you a little bit there.
That was pure.
Yeah, lovely shot again.
I tried to play like my little well, felt like a fade. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
Wow, a 174 carry.
You've hit that number 3 times out of the 4 there, to be fair.
Felt-
Really good strike as well.
Like, if you didn't tell me anything right now, I would go, this feels the best. This is just totally based on how I feel about what we've done.
Yeah.
I feel like if we're looking at 2,
Yeah.
so it was the steel fibre and this one.
And the Oban
steel
reserve, yeah.
fibre felt like I had to work it really hard.
Yeah.
This feels like the stability of that steel fibre, but without having to work it really hard.
Exactly, yeah. So you're maintaining the smoothness because that one is obviously fully graphite.
Yeah.
If you remember, the steel fibre still has a steel feel to it. That's what's underneath the graphite. So you kind of still got the stability of the graphite there, nice and smooth on the way through with your strike.
Right, let's dive into these numbers. This is the really exciting bit. The hitting is over. It's now time to see which one works best. And then in a separate video, we're going to do the build. But this is us dialed in with the irons for 2025. Which is really, really exciting. I'm very excited. Okay, Cam, let's dive through these numbers.
Okay, perfect. Right then. So obviously it's working from bottom to top.
We're discounting the bottom.
Yep.
We're saying that's no good. The steel fibre was this one.
Yeah.
Vista Pro and Oban Reserve.
Correct. So these are kind of the 2 really which we obviously preferred the most.
Okay.
Your average distance, your club speed's jumped up a tiny bit.
Okay.
But that obviously just comes with, if you're comparing the weight difference, you've obviously got 110 versus 108. So just an extra mile an hour there, but
Okay, let's have a look
again,
at-
with the quality of the strike.
So what, 110, where was that?
So your obviously club speed there is 90
90.
on average versus, so it's only a miles an hour. But if you look at your ball speed, obviously
2.
quality of strike better. Spin rate's very similar. Land angle's very similar, which is good because we wanted to try and maintain
spin,
that because that was
that's
in a good
land.
position anyway. Yeah, but if you look at the carry now, we've just crept ourselves an extra 5 yards. Obviously, being a good player, every yard matters, doesn't it?
100%. And then what's my dispersion like? So the purple one is the last shaft.
Yeah, correct. So obviously we've got the reserve there. You can see.
Oh right, so the
consistency.
heel's not gone that much shorter.
No, so you kind of got away with the heel.
Yeah.
Obviously, where if you look at the other ones where you caught one long left and a touch out the heel, you can see what's happened to your dispersion there. But if you look at the 4 shots that you've hit there out the sweet spot, which you did, they're pretty much right on your number around that 180.
And that pull didn't go too that far left, did it?
No,
That's
exactly.
only, for reference, that's the 15-yard line right... Try to point right here,
Yeah.
and that was just on it. So only 15 yards left, and that felt like quite a big juicy pull.
And at 180, 15 yards, it's going to hit probably most greens anyway. It's only 40 feet offline.
Yeah.
So depending obviously where the pin is and stuff, but that's obviously the big thing that we've been trying to look for. We obviously don't want the bad ones to be as bad, but we also want the good ones to feel good and obviously produce good shots as well.
Which they did. So what are we going for then?
So for me, I think after looking at both of them, I think there's only really one option. I think
Wait.
we've got to go Oban Reserves, which is the most recent one. You've got a little bit more distance in there.
Which is this one, right? So
Yeah.
a little bit more distance.
Yep. You obviously felt as well. You could kind of pick it up. It kind of fits right in the middle. You didn't have to work as hard, you know, to get that online, which you kind of felt that you did after with the steel fibre. So
Right.
I think they'll be perfect for you.
Awesome, mate. Thank you very much for that.
No worries at all.
That was seriously fun. So that's it. Cam's sorted us out. We have got fitted into this beauty right here. Like, I think just summarising that there, what I really liked is my one that I pulled didn't go that much further than the ones that I was getting in the middle. And more importantly, that one that, I mean, you watch this channel a lot, I find the heel, it's a bad shot that I hit, that my heel didn't go that much shorter. Cam, can we just get it on the screen here just to sort of show that right here?
Absolutely.
Because I think that's a really good point. Like, I want to know what is my bad shot and how much shorter is that going to go?
Yeah.
And looking at it right here, again, this is the line we're looking at, the pinky one here.
Yeah.
This is my heel. This is my good shots right here. Look how tight we're talking. So in terms of that dispersion, if you look at it from the front to the back, it's quite tight. Yes, it's gone a little left because I hit this pull, but that's still hitting the green in my opinion. So it's nice and narrow front to back and not too wide left to right. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe. This is my spec for 20. These are the Mizuno Pro 243 with an Oban reserve shaft. I didn't think after an unbiased shaft fitting, I would be going down the graphite route.